Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and I'm happy to be with you the very last Thursday of April 2022. I'm excited to be with you guys. I've got a little bit to talk about with Taurus season. Literally, it started, I think, April 19th. So we've got a little bit of time in there, but there are a lot of planetary alignments coming in. A lot of things are shifting and changing at the same time. So whenever you log in, make sure you let me know that you're watching. You can jump in and say hi and just kind of see where you're coming from. I'm live on 3 different platforms. So I'm live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So I've got all 3 going on right in front of me. Hey, Miss Carmen. Taurus season is a really great season. I mean, it's kind of like always that great energy of kind of that end of the spring, kind of moving a little bit closer to summer and kind of just opening up. I love it because we have those perfect Texas days. We have those days where it's not so hot and it's still cool enough in the morning and the evening, so it's not so blaringly hot. Hey, Miss Gracetta. But it's also got this amazing energy all wrapped in there. So we're going to be talking about Taurus season and how this is going to be affecting people. And then I'll be doing some angel cards as well and kind of joining in with everything that's going on. So if you have any questions, make sure you post them. I will answer as many questions as I possibly can about our Taurus season. So kind of the symbol for Taurus season is the bull. And it's kind of known for being stubborn but solid. And it's also really good about grounding and being strong. Now, if you are a Taurus, one of the things I would say is that Taurus energy usually loves to be grounded. So doing grounding meditations from time to time will really, really help. Now, on the opposite hand, there are some Taurus people, because of the other planets' alignments in their chart, they don't really like grounding near as much. So it's one of those, you have to kind of figure it out along with everybody else. Is kind of like, what's coming up? How does this suit me? How does this work well for me? And kind of just, that's the way it is with almost everybody. You have to kind of realize like how much grounding you require compared to other people. So Taurus season started the evening of April 19th and will end moving into Gemini out of Taurus on May 20th. And it's kind of really about rebuilding our foundations and kind of really looking at the season of kind of like, what else can we do to kind of like build our foundations of like setting our calendar now, setting our accomplishments now are going to help us not just for these 30 days, but going on into the summer. So kind of what are the foundations that you're kind of rebuilding or restructuring or rethinking about? This is a really great time to really think about those seasons that we're coming into. During this Taurus season, we have a solar eclipse in Taurus. So that's going to kind of like really push more energy. It's going to be April 30th. It is not visible from the United States. It's only visible if you're in Antarctica or like very, 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 very South America. And I think a little bit in Africa, South Africa. So it's really not going to hit us here, but we will feel the effects. Everybody all over the planet, no matter where you are, is going to feel the effects of any eclipse that happens. You're just going to feel it. Now, our lunar eclipse or our solar eclipse that happens shortly thereafter, we are going to feel that. We are going to see it here in Houston. So we are going to get a tail end of that a little bit. So that's going to make it a little bit stronger. It's not going to be as strong for some people. Is going to be, we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. So kind of this eclipse is kind of on April 30th is kind of bringing out a bit of drama, some sudden changes, and it could really bring out some new revelations of kind of like thinking for yourself, like, wow, I never thought that way. These are new ideas and explanations. I've never thought that way in my life. So this is a great way to kind of really transform your energy and expect that with this Taurus season, especially around that 30th. So tomorrow night, the 29th, the 30th, and the 1st, 2nd are going to bring in some like really kind of like, wow, unexpected changes, revelations of kind of like just our way of thinking. Like I'm changing the way I'm thinking. I'm changing how I deal with this. Taurus season is really kind of in the middle of spring, and it's kind of really about this fixed sign. So it's really about people that are Taurus, and during this time frame, we kind of take on that energy a little bit. So we're very hardworking, we're very dependable. We love the structure, we love the routine. And it's one of those that also kind of brings in this eclipse energy, which are going to kind of really affect kind of our fixed signs more than anybody else. Our Leo, our Aquarius, Taurus, and our Scorpio energy ones are going to be feeling this one so much more than other people. So just be aware of that. It may be a great night or those few days to kind of do an extra salt tub to kind of clear off any extra energy. And then make sure you're journaling, make sure you're writing down your ideas of what you want to change or modify during this time frame. One of the things to kind of learn about Taurus energy during this time frame is kind of really indulge in some self-care, taking care of yourself. That's where that salt tub comes in, of just being indulgent. Being kind to yourself, making sure that you're taking care more than you normally would. And kind of allowing those little luxuries. I had a client who never does a manicure, went and do a manicure yesterday. And I was like, yes, that's that Taurus energy. That's taking care of yourself. And it's one of those, it's going to be a great time. We're going to see a lot of people taking salt tubs, kind of cleaning out their home, kind of doing home cooked meals during this time frame. And then we've also got like some things coming up, kind of not knowing where we want to start, where we want to take care of things, and working on projects is kind of number 2 of kind of what are the projects that you've been working on and kind of like bringing those to an end. What projects have you been working on? Because we had 2 days ago, we had Mercury go into retrograde. So kind of this is a great time to kind of working on finishing up projects, and it's even thinking about it. So if you've been thinking about finishing up something, or you started something a while back and you want to bring that around and kind of like, let's clear this out and get this all going in the right direction and kind of get ready for what's next. This is a great time to do it. Let's see, this is a great time for thinking about new ideas or new projects. Kind of like, when I finish this, what is the next project I want to take care of? Or what is the next project I want to do or move into? This is also a great time to kind of take some time in nature. Like I said, this is a great time to balance our energy. This is a great time to do some meditation, some grounding meditations. And that really comes in because opposite of Taurus is you have Venus, which is all about love. So it's kind of like that love of being grounded, that love of appreciation for ourselves, that love of all natural world is really, really great. And we've got this kind of this spring equinox that just happened a few days ago, of moving into kind of like our spring or summer mode for the Northern Hemisphere. And this is a really great time to kind of do some healing meditations with Mother Earth. We've also got some other planets kind of moving in their energy as well. So these are not in any particular order, just so you know, they are not in particular order. We have Mercury that went in to retrograde on April 26th in the sign of Gemini Taurus. So it really gets really strong on the 10th through the 3rd of June, because we've got like this really full retrograde time, and this is really pushing this energy. Carmen is like, Mercury retrograde, that explains why I'm having a hard time getting the information I need on my. Yes, this is all about it. But we also have another planet, Uranus, which is going into retrograde as well. Uranus actually has been in, will go into retrograde on May 7th, and it is all about technology. So technology for a period of time is going to be really janky. But let's see, Mercury, so it stations and turns full retrograde on May 10th in the sign of Gemini. And then it stations and, hold on, let's start this again. So Mercury in retrograde started on April 26th. It turns and stations full retrograde on May 10th. It turns and stations, it's in full retrograde from May 10th through June 3rd. in Taurus, and then we kind of go into that post shadow, so it kind of starts to lighten up through June 18th. So that is some really kind of energy that's coming at us. We also have, in just a few days, we also have great, I work on it. Yes, it's one of those, it's going to be really harsh in Uranus, kind of because it's really in charge of technology and how we kind of look forward into kind of reconnecting, because Taurus has that like rebellion energy, but it also has that mother instincts as well, of kind of like, I want to mother you, but I want you to kind of push yourself into new realms. So that's going to be really an amazing energy. Jupiter goes into retrograde on May 4th. So that is just coming up in a few days. And then we've got Pluto in retrograde. So on top of Pluto going in retrograde, it's been in retrograde. It started January 6th. It stations and turns full retrograde tomorrow. And then it gets out of full retrograde on October 8th. So it's in there for like 5 months. And Pluto is all about change and kind of the underworld of kind of like things that we normally kind of push aside, or projects that we really don't want to work with or deal with, kind of coming back up, kind of like that resurrection, like here it comes all over again. It's going to be right at our face kind of energy. And then from October 8th through January 29th of 2023, it's going to be in that post shadow energy and kind of like pushing change, pushing changes in structures, changes in kind of like government, kind of change in different. Hey, Miss Sandra. So that is really some amazing energy coming at us. We also have, hey, Miss Courtney. Let's see. We also have Saturn that went into retrograde February 26th. And it's not going to be in full retrograde until June, but it's one of those, it's already affecting a lot of people. And Saturn is kind of that structure, that the law, the what's going on, how are things changing and modifying, and that is going to be changing a lot of people's perspective and energy as well. And then we also have, I know we have a lot of planets, just all of a sudden we didn't have hardly any planets. And then now we've hit like this season of a whole bunch of retrogrades all at the same time. We have Neptune in retrograde, March 7th. And then it doesn't turn full retrograde until June 27th. It's one of those, Neptune is all about kind of like our dream life, what we would dream that we would want to have as a life, kind of that, kind of what do you do to kind of zone out. For me, I could be reading or I could be meditating is kind of my zone out time, and I could spend days meditating or reading. And so that's kind of that Neptune energy of kind of just pull everything out and kind of deal with things differently, or kind of really zone out. So let's pull a couple of angel cards and see what we can get more information on our Taurus season that's coming in. Listening. This is a really important one, especially during Mercury in retrograde, is to really amplify our listening and really understanding what's coming at us and what the person requires from us. I was working with a client today, and she got an email from her boss right before we started a reading, and she was kind of like, oh my gosh, he's always wanting this. And I was like, hold on, read the whole email. And so she stopped. We didn't start anything. She read the whole email, and she was like, oh, it was kind of like a thank you, but he kind of, the way he started it was not the way she would have wanted to have heard it. But it's one of those, that's the good part about this, is listening to things differently than we normally do. Listening to things how we would want to hear them isn't always the way it comes out or the way someone else communicates, especially in Mercury in retrograde, can really send us for a loop. Let's see. Got a couple of them popping here. This one is manifestation. This is a great time to kind of really think about what you desire to manifest. With all these planets into retrograde, what is it that you are choosing to manifest for yourself? What is it that you're really drawing to yourself? And I have seen this with a lot of people not really communicating well about their dreams, not really communicating well with what they choose to have in their life, and really kind of getting whatever's left over. I've seen this in like 6 clients in a row. Self-acceptance is something that I would say it comes in a couple of different planets as well, but it also comes in with Taurus season as well, kind of like accepting who you are and what you bring into the world. And it doesn't matter how long it took you to get here or get to this spot where you feel like, okay, now I can give back to the world. This is what I want to do, or this is what I want to how I want to gift back to the world. It's accepting who you are, accepting what you bring into this world, and accepting kind of like your inner beauty for whatever it is. So many times I see this with people that are kind of like not really accepting where they come in, what they want to bring into their lives, and kind of interesting enough, kind of like, where do we want to go with this? Where do we want to end up with this first? If you have any questions about Taurus season, let me know. I know we got a lot of time left. I didn't think we'd have as much time. But Taurus season is one that kind of knocks everybody for a loop because it wants us to ground so much. Serenity. And I think this is about grounding, because it's one of those, a lot of people find a lot of peace and comfort in grounding energy. You can ground with a tree, or you can ground without a tree. I think it's so much easier. Let's see. How will these retrograde planets affect my upcoming speed? I will say probably the one that's going to affect you the most is Mercury in retrograde is always one. But we'll talk about how to kind of work through some of that Mercury in retrograde energy. But the other one would be Taurus. So anything after May 7th, we're going to be in that energy for quite a while. I think it's another one, like it's a 5-month one. So Uranus in retrograde starts on May 7th. It turns full retrograde on August 24th through January 22nd, and then it leaves post-shadow energy on May 9th. So it's there literally a year and 2 days. So that is going to be some new technology coming forward, or kind of feeling like I need an upgrade, or things are not working as fast as they should. And then all of a sudden they're going to break through this energy as well. But one of the things is Mercury in retrograde. A lot of people, when I first learned about it, people were panicked, like, oh my gosh, it's in retrograde. I think that's an interesting energy, because when anything you fight in your life has to come up and balance your energy. So if you're fighting Mercury in retrograde, it has to balance your energy in that. So the more you kind of just laugh it off and be like, oh, I get an extra coffee break while this loads, then it makes it easier. When you take some time for yourself, or just like, oh, I didn't think I'd have time to run to the bathroom before this meeting. But since my computer's going slow, I can run to the bathroom. And so kind of making it light and easy makes it easier, because your energy kind of softens, and then Mercury's energy softens as well. So the more you can kind of just take it easy and relax with all of that, it makes it easier. And don't push the energy. Anything you push at is going to push back at you. So make sure that you're kind of being really soft with Mercury's energy, as well as Uranus's energy. And I call in Archangel Michael to kind of protect me as I'm working on my computer issues, as things come up and move around, to kind of keep my network secure. I do it as kind of keeping my computer moving the right direction. And then kind of my number one trade secret is turn it off whenever possible and restart it. I know it takes several minutes to do it, but it can actually kind of clear out your stored stuff, and it makes it run so much faster. So whenever I'm having some issues, I turn it off and turn it back on. I wish I drank coffee, but I don't, which is kind of an interesting one, but I'll go get me another cup of tea when that happens. Any other questions for you guys? Questions? Music. Mercury in retrograde really does well with music, but so does Saturn. It's one of those, Saturn, I've heard the harmonics from Saturn, the planet itself. It's really got a great musical energy to it. So playing music, even if it's soft and light in the background, can really help soften the energy and really calm your energy down. Let's see. The other one I would say is that is going to affect a lot of people that really hasn't moved into total retrograde yet, and that would be Jupiter in retrograde. That is going to be kind of a harsh one at times, especially when it's in its Aries energy. That's going to be a really harsh energy. And of course, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, I have a lot of articles in there, as well as kind of planetary news, how it's going to affect you. I've got angel card readings for every day of May, and we're changing some things up. I was talking to my assistant today, and we're going to be changing some things up for the newsletter. So we're going to be very excited about making some changes and some upgrades, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. It's going to be lots of fun. I understand a lot of computer geeks do turn off their computers just because it helps kind of clear out anything that you've had stored up on there, or any issues that you might have. And then it also helps with the security. If it's not on and loaded, then it doesn't have as many of them. This one is all about ideas and inspirations. And this is a really great thing to really work on during Taurus season, of what are some upgrades or some ideas or inspiration that you would have. And I think I kind of know kind of thing. Spring comes in with some amazing energy to kind of amplify that as well. To kind of like, what is the spring things? Kind of put some things around you that kind of bring ideas of spring, ideas of what you would want to create and bring into. That is going to be a great one for most people, of kind of like, what would you like to upgrade and what would you like to change and modify during this time frame? This one is literally popping out of my hand. Miracles. I know a lot of people really think that miracles don't really happen during Mercury in retrograde, but they really, really can. And I think the interesting part is how they can come through with such amazing energy, things that you weren't really expecting, things that you were kind of like, oh, it's in the past, things are happening. It's one of those, that's kind of what will come through. And all of a sudden you're just like, boom, here's a miracle right in front of you. And that's kind of the fun part. Hi, Ralphie. Ralphie is coming in on Instagram. And we're talking about Taurus energy, our Taurus season. The next one is retreat. This is all about Taurus energy. And it's also kind of about some of the other retrogrades as well, to kind of take some time for yourself, kind of bring in some energy to kind of take that break for yourself. Kind of, what do you want to bring in? How do you want to change things? How do you want to modify things? And taking some time for yourself. Meditation is amazing. I know a lot of you are like, meditation isn't that great. It is amazing. I know Grace said if she's listening, she's like, oh my gosh, meditation's absolutely changed her world. Absolutely changed her world of being able to kind of reconnect with herself, bring in healing, and really kind of make herself feel more grounded, which is, I think, is amazing as well. I really do. Being able to ground your energy is always amazing. Neptune is all going to be messing with our dreams. Like I said, it's all about your dream life, but it will also start bringing in, Grace said, is like, meditation is incredible. It is incredible. And I have some really fun. Hi, Angelina. I also have some new meditations coming out in April, so that is going to be bringing in some amazing healing energy. And then I also have, what was the other one? I have some celestial meditations that I normally do for a club, and a lot of people pay monthly fees to get in that club. And these are high energy meditations, going off planet, going into different realms and different aspects. This is going to be really amazing. But I've got a couple of them that I've done. I've got another one launching sometime in May that is all about kind of like bringing in that new energy. And I am going to be that really amazing energy of amping this up. This is going to be great. But this is a great time to kind of open up to that energy. Yeah, Carmen said, very amazing. It depends. I depend on it all day long. I do too. I think that's one of the things that I love about meditation more than anything else, is that meditation kind of calm you down. And it's almost like drinking water, you need to do it a few times during the day. So you kind of need to keep that up several times during your day to kind of amplify this energy. Neptune will be affecting your dreams. My daughter and I both have some weird dreams during Neptune in retrograde. We don't look forward to Neptune in retrograde, even though it's quite often. Neptune has some strange effect on people, and it can also affect your meditations as well, which is kind of really cool that it is going to be bringing up that energy of where are we changing with this? What are we modifying with this? And kind of like looking at like the root of the question, kind of like when you get a dream, kind of looking into all aspects of it so you get the complete message with it. So many times people only look up one part of it and they're like, oh, I figured it out. This is exactly what I want. No, they're only looking at one thing or one subject or one part of it. They're not looking at the whole thing. So you got to change the whole idea and kind of like really look at that well so that you can kind of get a better design on what it's trying to teach you or what it's trying to tell you. Like we talked about earlier, Taurus energy is opposite Venus. So this is going to amp up. Taurus energy always kind of amps up our romance and things that we love. This could be amping up romance. I don't want to say like romance, but kind of connections in your family, kind of people that you really love to be around or really connect with well. This is going to bring this up. But this will also amp up any husband, wife, kind of giving it a little kick in the pants. This is also going to be kicking up any boyfriend and girlfriend energy of kind of just bringing that back around, kind of bringing it, that passion back in there, that romance kind of energy back in and making it great again. But I think that one of the things that I get a lot when Jupiter is in retrograde, that you really do have that. Also, you have that amp up of romance. Soulmate energy is a really cool one at this time. And this could be someone helping you with your business. I kind of feel more business or career related. And it may not be giving you all the answers or giving you a new job. This could be something that's coming in to modify or change what's coming in and kind of give you some new insight or some new things to look at or some new things to try, or maybe like just coming in with something new or different that you haven't had in the past, kind of that amazing energy of coming in with something new and different for you guys in that soulmate energy. Divine guidance. We are always divinely guided, but you got to listen. You got to listen. Remember the first card? It was listen. This is what it's talking about. Really listen to your angels and guides during this time frame. When we have so many planets into retrograde all at the same time, basically by June, we have like 6 planets in retrograde. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 or 5 planets. This is going to be heavy energy, and we're still going to be in that energy of Mercury in retrograde. So that's going to be bringing in a lot of heavy changes all at the same time. But if you're ready for it, if you're meditating, if you're ready for this energy to come in, it will really, really help and assist. Taking care of your body. Body care is all about taking care of you. And that's what we were talking about in this Taurus energy. This is all about taking care of you, getting a massage, getting a mani-or pedi, or taking some time to yourself. So many times I hear so many people, it's like, I'm busy all the time. That's great, but that doesn't give you any rest. It doesn't give you any downtime. It doesn't give you any time off for good behavior. It's one of those, bring that in and relax that energy. It's going to do wonders for you. Intentions. Setting your intentions is really important to do, especially in Mercury in retrograde. Kind of what do you want to bring into you? How do you want it to work for you? What are the next steps that you would like to take in your career? What are the next steps that you would like to take in your healing? What are the next steps that you would like to do in your meditation or your abilities? All of that is amping up. So make sure that you're doing what you require doing so you can keep moving forward. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. We've got like 1 minute left, 1 minute left. I have so enjoyed y'all this evening talking about our Taurus energy and, of course, all of our planets going into retrograde. Hopefully, I will be here tomorrow, next Thursday. That will be Cinco de Mayo. So we'll see where that goes on my calendar. I will also be starting a Psychic 303 class, and that takes 10 weeks long. And one of the classes is on Thursday night. So I will do Thursday night live as much as I can during this time frame. I know it'll be easier at the beginning than it is at the end as we kind of finish up in that class. But I have a lot of people ready to step into their promised energy, or kind of like what's coming up next for themselves. This is going to be a great one. This is going to be an amazing energy to step into. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.